Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Herder Show. I'm Rich.
And I'm Nick.
And this is, of course, the Over a Beer channel. Today's segment is going to be Stream It,
Pitch It,
Play It. So let's jump right into the streaming section. Let's do it in order. We've been kind of doing this out of order every week, and we jump back and forth. Let's do it in order. Let's do Stream It.
Okay. Should we stream it? Should we cross the streams, just both talk at the exact same time?
Yeah, we're just going to keep talking and just tell
We never cross the streams, but the thing is, we have the same stream today.
We do.
The stream is flowing together today, upstream. Because, for those who don't know how stream it works, typically the way it works is each week, we each give each other something to stream on Netflix.
Yep.
And they're different things. But last week, we gave each other the same thing to stream.
Yeah.
We planned it. It wasn't on accident.
No.
And that was Netflix's first big original movie, Beasts of No Nation.
Yep.
From director Cary Fukunaga, of course starring Idris Elba, and also starring...
Oh,
I wrote it down.
You wrote it down.
I wrote it down, and then I threw it down in an earlier segment this week. Abraham Atta is really the lead of the film.
Yeah.
Idris Elba got a lot of the hype leading up to its release. Turns out he's not really the main character. It's actually this kid, Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of a movie about a boy in Africa who shit goes down in his village. He is taken in by some revolutionaries.
Yeah, it's because Village is kind of caught between, the rebels and I guess the government military of this country.
And he's forced to join them, and it's kind of how his life changes and all of that. So this is a high-profile movie. Before we talk about really what this meant for Netflix and stuff like that, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that. What did you think of the film?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hesitant to really give too much on this because I watched it pretty late at night, and I was like, am I up late? Like, is this kind of affecting what I thought of this? It was, I don't know. Like, it started off really interesting and kind of where it went, and then I think sometimes I always mispronounce his name, Idris
Elba.
Yeah, is almost a little too, like, he's really good in it, but he's almost a little too over the top sometimes for how serious of a film it is. And
it's interesting because it's not just his performance, right? There's some elements of the film that aren't as serious, and then there are some parts of it that are so serious. It is a little bit oddly balanced.
Yeah. I think it's good, but I think it's a little long. There's a little bit.
It's 137 minutes, and it feels like it.
Yeah, it feels like it. But there was a point in it where I was like, is this kind of, they're just kind of going from place to place, just doing their stuff, and I'm like, did I fall asleep? No, I didn't fall asleep. I didn't miss anything. It's still kind of going. It's good though. I think it's definitely worth seeing. I'll save the Netflix and what it means for that, the film and stuff. Again, but what did you think of it?
I'm right there with you. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. And, this is Cary Fukunaga really following up some great films, but then also, obviously, his high-profile work on True Detective Season 1. He directed the entire Season 1, the good season, as they say. And I don't think it was as great as anyone hoped it would be.
Sure.
Idris Elba I thought he was pretty good throughout, but the kid is great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think I talked about it on last week's Stream It. A bad kid actor can ruin a movie.
He's excellent.
100%. He's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of the movie has some really great stuff with multiple kids. All the stuff with the imagination television stuff was great. And just them kind of...
It's kind of just setting up their back life and their home life.
Yeah, exactly. And then seeing it all torn from them, and seeing this cute kid who does this imagination TV thing becoming a killer, and becoming an addict, and all these things, and it in that way it is kind of it's very serious. It has some heartbreaking moments when you think about where this kid was, to what he is forced into, really, out of his control. It's funny. Yesterday you texted me something about the movie Pan, and I texted you back, I'm watching Pan in the Jungle, because I was right at the part where he first gets taken by all the kids who are part of Idris Elba's like militia, and like it reminded me so much of like the Lost Boys and like Hook, except for Hook never got that. Pan never got that dark, you know. But overall, it's a well-made movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a very well-made movie, and I would say I'm excited to see what he's got next, but it's not going to be it anymore. So kind of bummed about that.
It's not it anymore. That's right.
But no, I'm looking forward to see what he does. Kind of goes from here.
One thing that we mentioned, this can kind of transition us into this Netflix model of releasing movies. This movie is 137 minutes. It did feel like every one of those minutes, and that was part of why me personally. And this is a me problem. I'm sure it's some of your problems. It might not be your problem.
It's a Nick problem.
This is a Nick problem. A movie like that, of that length, is something that for me, I need to watch in a theater. I need to be focused 100% on a movie like that.
Yeah.
There's too many distractions in the house, whether it's, you know, getting up or just being able to pause it or your phone's right there or this or that I never touch in a movie theater. But something like that, something that you need to focus that long on, that intently, I'm not as good at doing that just from my living room. And that's why I love the cinema. The cinema absorbs you.
Yeah.
You don't have the other distractions. You might have some people coughing or people, you know,
people with their phones out, and that's a whole. I could have a whole
Regal members walking through the theater and making sure whatever they're doing.
I had a woman Shazam a song on a movie once in the theater.
There you go. It's the worst, right? But you don't have the distractions that you make for yourself, and that was part of my disappointment. And also just my disappointment. This is a movie that I would have loved to have seen in the theater, and yes, Netflix released it very, very, very limited theatrically to be eligible for awards, but it was never going to be released here, and we were never going to be able to see it here, and so that option is taken away from us. But at the same time, many, many more eyes were able to see this movie.
I'll get to that. Put a pin in that one. I'll go to your point about the distractions. That could also be seen sort of as, you know, a statement to the film itself, because if it's 2 hours and 17 minutes long, and it's not keeping you from. I mean, there's. I can watch 2 hour movie, 2.5 hour movies at home, and be so engrossed in it that I don't care about my phone. I don't care what else is going on.
Sure.
And this didn't keep you from.
Right.
I mean.
Well, it mostly did, but the temptation is there.
Yeah.
What I mean is just like in the future, we talked about it in our news segment. We're getting a Bong Joon-ho film, and we're getting. David Michaud film, and we're getting all those Adam Sandler movies, and we're getting Pee Wee Herman, all these things coming from Netflix, and we're not going to have the opportunity to watch any of them theatrically. And it is a bummer, as somebody who loves the theater experience, who I was a projectionist for my entire high school career, and like I love the art of that, and I love being in the cinema, and we're not going to get that for a lot of these movies, and that's disappointing.
No, I agree.
But let's talk about the flip side of it.
So
the merits of this.
Yeah, to what you were saying, a lot of I see this. I was watching it, and I'm like, I don't think, maybe if they marketed it a certain way, but just watching the film, I don't know how that would have done well in the theater. Like, a per screen average or something, I don't think that would have.
It was very limited released, but.
But I mean, if they, it was limited release in like 2 cities or 3. It was But I'm saying if they had given it even a more wide limited theatrical,
it would have done really bad.
Yeah.
It definitely would have done really bad. You could have billed it as from the guy who brought you True Detective. That means less to the public because people didn't like season 2, even though he had nothing to do with it. Idris Elba is not a draw. He might be after he's going to be the villain in Star Trek 3.
I mean, he is for people who know who he is.
Sure, he's done great things. He's literally amazing as Stringer Bell in The Wire, and Luther has a big following and all these things. But
he doesn't have that mainstream appeal.
No, he's not a star in that way. So it wouldn't have grabbed people like that at all. When I was on IMDb before we recorded this to find out the kid's name, it said on there that its lifetime U.S. gross was $83,000. Not even $100,000. That's very, very, very small, no matter how many theaters it was put in. But here's the flip side. About 2 weeks after this movie was released on Netflix, who never puts out numbers on anything, said that some, what was it, 3 million?
Something like that.
Something like 3 million or 30 million? It might have been 30 million. Some significant amount of people had viewed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that amount of people never would have went to see it. And if you equated those eyes to average ticket prices, it would have made like 30, 35, 40 million, which would have been a great success for a movie of this size. So Cary Fukunaga was able to make a movie without interference because Netflix let him do his thing. They let people do their things. And his movie was seen by more people than ever would have seen it.
It's the kind of movie that, you know, if a family's going to the theater, what is it? I'm seeing whatever. But if they're sitting at home kind of looking for something to watch on Netflix and they say, oh, here is, regardless of the subject, here is the new Netflix, you know, kind of original thing.
And that means
I love Orange is the New Black. I love House of Cards. I love, you know, whatever. Let's watch this. And like, you know, I'm not the family with little kids, but I mean, like, a family could sit down and be like, oh, let's see what's on Netflix and check it out.
Yeah.
And it has that appeal to it, and having the Netflix name on it is definitely, you know, a strong kind of thing for them to be like, oh, it's the original thing from Netflix. They've been good to me so far. Let's watch it. Mm-hmm. And coming out and wow, I'm glad I saw it, but I was depressed. You know, like somebody who wouldn't normally watch stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it definitely, and you know, if that's what it's going to take for somebody like Cary Fukunaga to make a passion project, or you know, whoever to make something, if that's what it's going to take for us to get another Pee-wee movie, then I'm happy Netflix is there to do that.
That's what it's going to take to get us 6 more Adam Sandler films.
And you know, Netflix just keeps providing us more and more great original content. We have Masters of None, the Aziz Ansari show, is supposed to be amazing. Mm-hmm. We are now, this week that you're watching it, if you're watching this, in just a couple days, Jessica Jones will be dropping.
We have Jessica Jones, and then I think it'll be out by the time this airs, but with Bob and David.
That's right.
The Bob Odenkirk, David Cross kind of reunion thing.
All of these things, they brought back Arrested Development for better or for worse. Like they do these great things. And it's only, what, like $8.99 a month right now or something, maybe less. And people still fucking steal it. Like, just... Yeah. If you're watching this and you use somebody else's Netflix account,
stop.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of you in that way.
If you either steal somebody else's Netflix information or you're downloading the stuff illegally, just stop. Just go away, go crawl in a hole somewhere, and just shrivel up.
I mean, but it is worth the price.
Yeah.
In addition to all the other stuff that they have, all the movies, all the other streaming options we're giving each other, all the TV shows that you can binge and all of that. Like, and it's just more and more. There's just more.
It is absolutely worth it.
Totally 100%. I am down with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And it's even better that they are now giving these filmmakers that I like and I love the opportunity to do things that they want to.
They're giving these filmmakers that if they put a movie out in theaters, it would get a limited release. Probably not, you know, do a whole lot. I mean, I don't, you know, we talked, you know, an earlier segment kind of about Snowpiercer, and I don't remember what the numbers kind of were for that. But it was fairly limited when it came out, and they're giving that director, you know, a chance to make a movie on Netflix where a lot of more people will have the opportunity to see. And I think Snowpiercer's on Netflix now too, actually.
It is, yeah.
And then you can see, you can discover more stuff from these people through that as well. It's like, you liked this new movie from him. Well, here's some of his other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it can even broaden people's horizons of this kind of movies that they watch and the kind of things that they see.
Yes. It's great. So there's lots more on that. We're going to be talking about Netflix in the weeks to come, obviously. Yeah. The things that we talked about that are dropping.
Considering we have a segment called Stream.
We have a weekly segment called Stream It.
Yeah.
So why don't we now transition into giving each other our new streams?
Sure. You want me to go first? Or?
You can go first.
Okay. I kind of went back and forth on this. I thought I had something for you. And I still could if you've seen this other one I'm going to give you. But I'm going to give you a different one. Have you seen God Bless America?
I have seen God Bless America.
Okay, that's fine, because I'm going to give you a different film then. Okay. I'm curious what you thought of God Bless America.
I actually enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's funny. I had, a previous thing some people know, and we did a similar thing where we used to have a guest on every show, and we'd have the guest give us a movie to watch, and that was one that was given to us, the three of us who hosted that show. And it was a pretty good movie.
Cool. Yeah. I'm a big fan of it. So I'm going to give you Wetlands.
I have not seen Wetlands.
Cool. Okay. You're going to have fun with Wetlands. If you guys out there know what Wetlands is, you can tweet at him and tell him how much fun he's going to have. Cool.
And I can always tell when you're being devious and you're streaming out.
You're going to quit one of these days and just be like, I'm done. Keep scarring me.
Just wait for this week's Dana Explains.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we just went on a whole thing about how we love Netflix and Netflix is great and stream it, but we did set up a rule between each other that at certain points it didn't have to be a streaming option that we give each other.
We did.
And so I'm going to be the first one to break the rules.
All right, you're opening up a whole, because I've been avoiding it, but you're opening up
Somebody had to do this
a whole window now, because I got stuff I'm going to give you.
There's something that we've established on the show, something that I haven't felt like I could talk about as much, because it's something that you don't really do, and you don't really read comics. So I'm going to give you a graphic novel.
That's not a viewing thing.
It is, because people can stream it digitally using a Comixology app. I'm going to give you a graphic novel to read, and you're going to report back on this.
God damn you. I hate you so much right now. I don't have time to read.
You have time to read, believe me.
Well, take me an hour and a half.
Yes. Roughly. It'll take you less than 137 minutes.
God damn you. I hate you.
So I'm going to be the first one to break the rules, and I'm going to have you read the first volume of Gotham Central, which is exactly what Gotham, the TV show, should be, but is not.
Okay.
This is a comic that was a few years back. Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker did it. This is a story of, means nothing to you. It means something. Brubaker basically.
No, I'm sure it means a lot to.
Brubaker basically, a lot of people would know him because the Winter Soldier storyline in the comics, he came up with that. Okay. Basically. That
was a good movie.
Among other things. So this comic, you'll learn about it, but here's my quick pitch. This is cops in Gotham without Batman who have to deal with a world where there's supervillains and how it's like being a cop. And it is fantastic. Okay. I'm interested to see what you think about it.
Now, for the record, I don't dislike graphic novels.
It's not that you dislike.
I don't dislike comics. I don't dislike graphic novels.
You don't have the.
I've read some
knowledge.
I've read some graphic novels. I've read some manga. I've read some this and that. It's not the first thing that I go to when I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go read this.
So I'm going to introduce a little comics into the Nerd Herders and have you read one.
All right.
And eventually you'll get me with something, I'm sure. That isn't a streaming option.
You'll get your stuff with Wetlands. Trust me.
Okay.
You'll get something with
fair
Wetlands.
Enough. So it sounds like you had it coming.
Oh.
All right. So that was Stream It. We'll be back next week to talk about that stuff. And now we have Stream It. Pitch It. Pitch It.
So it's my turn. I'm pitching something to you. 2 weeks ago, you gave me crime thriller, crime drama, crime whatever, called The Burrows. And just wait for that. I got it.
So I gave him a genre. I gave him that title, The Burrows. He's going to come up with a story.
Kind of a story, some actors. So that's the way Pitch It works. Every 2 weeks, we give each other a new. One person gives the other one as title and genre to pitch to them 2 weeks later. So you gave me The Burrows. So you ready? You ready for this?
All right.
This holiday, maybe next holiday.
Okay. Quick turnaround.
Yeah, especially it's going to be anime. We got an animated movie taking place in upstate New York at a country club.
Okay.
Underneath that country club live two crime families of gophers.
Okay.
And they're think Watership Down mixed with like Casino or Goodfellas, as they battle for the turf underneath the golf course of this country club.
Okay.
And it's going to have the all-star voice talents of Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's coming back for this.
Oh.
He's coming out, I don't know if he's in retirement, but he's coming out of retirement to do this animated film. James Caan. Kind of all the big...
Jimmy Caan. Scott Caan?
Sure, Scott Caan could be...
Scott Caan's back.
Why the hell not? These two families... shit, what did I call him? The Go-Father leads one of the families. You've got these other gophers coming on their turf as they burrow.
Okay.
You can see the poster now, the Burrows. This Christmas, the Go-Fellas dig into crime.
Okay.
And,
I like it. Not at all where I thought we were going to take this.
I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. Now, I've been going back and forth kind of on director series. I think it'd be really funny to have someone like Scorsese do,
Sure.
a Gopher Mafia movie, an animated Gopher Mafia film. But also kind of ridiculous to have somebody do, I'm blanking on the guy's name, the same guy did like Freebirds and things like that. Like just some ridiculous animated director.
You knew that guy's name at some point?
I looked it up. I looked it up. I'm like, who
that
is
famous auteur of
who is an
Freebirds,
obscure
or the
animated
Job?
director? Oh, there's that Freebird that I didn't remember the name of the film. I had to look up like animated turkey film to remember Freebirds. That's my pitch it for the Burrows.
I would see it. Studio? Who's behind this? I feel like it would be like whoever the hell made, right? Like Freebirds.
Yeah, it'd have to be some kind of animated. I could see
Nutjob
maybe
people or
something like that.
DreamWorks. I could see DreamWorks.
I could maybe see DreamWorks, but it might be a little violent though. I mean, because I want this to have that like Watership Down level of like gore and violent, like that.
Okay.
Like I want that in there. Like I want this. Oh look, kids, we can go see the new Gopher movie, and they get in there, and it's just these crime gophers and mafia just ripping each other to shreds, and maybe the Caddyshack Gopher makes a cameo.
What about Gopher?
It doesn't
Winnie
look.
the Pooh.
There you go.
I can't do his whistling. I can't do it. I can't. I can't.
But yeah, someone like that, maybe like a more obscure kind of animation company who's like willing to sort of take that risk.
Okay. I like it. I would see that movie.
Cool.
All right, good one.
That's my pitch, and now I gotta give you a name and genre. I'm gonna give you a comedy.
Oh, all right.
We've kind of gone a little dark, I think.
A little bit. Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but sure.
I'm
gonna write this down.
I gave you something. I gave you horror before that, so yeah, we've kind of had sort of a.
So
I'm gonna give you a comedy.
Sure.
Called Below the Surface.
Oh, Below the. All right. I already have an idea.
Cool. So in 2 weeks, Nick will be back to pitch me Below the Surface, a new comedy. But this holiday, you can see the Burrows.
What was it? The Goph.
This Christmas, the Gofellas digging the crime.
Coming soon to a cinema near you.
Bringing animation back.
Is it gone? Hand drawn?
Hand drawn animation.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, good. That was pitch it. So now we're on to play it.
Yeah.
So play it. We haven't done play it in a while, right?
Yeah. Which we're still not going to fully do play it.
We're not going to
today.
fully do it. We'll have a full discussion. Maybe we'll just do a discussion on Last of Us at some point.
Okay.
Although I'm not prepared to give you something to play today.
No, that's fine. I'm curious. I want an update.
Sure. All right. So for those who've been keeping track at home, at the first week I think of the show, you've
gone 8 weeks without.
There's been some other things. Yeah, it's been a while, so we had to bring it in an update.
Because if you didn't notice on these title cards, it says stream it, pitch it, play it. We haven't talked about play it.
Right. So you gave me the game Last of Us, which I had not played yet,
Mm-hmm.
to be my play it, and we decided that, for a lot of these play it's, what it will be is we'll take like a week, and the other person playing the game, we'll just give thoughts on it. But for Last of Us, it's such a story-driven game, and that's something I knew going into it, and you informed me that it would be worth it just to beat it. But then, games came out, and
things happen, life happens,
and Destiny, and blah blah blah, and so it's backed up. And but I was able to play a lot of Last of Us over the last couple of days, with the Veterans Day and whatever, blah blah blah. And so I put a significant chunk of time into it, but I also had to watch Beast of No Nation and Bridge of Spies, which we talked about the other day. It's great. This game is awesome. I'm playing the remastered version for PS4. This is from Naughty Dog, the people who did the Uncharted games, and Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Jack.
Yep. It's fantastic.
Glad you're liking it. I'm very curious to have the full discussion when you're done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, obviously, one of the reps this game has, that it's a heartbreaking, soul-crunching game. I haven't hit that. I mean, there have been things.
I mean, it's a bleak game.
We can talk a little bit about the opening. If you don't want to know, don't listen. But I knew one of the things I knew about this game, and I think being a few years removed from it, never really. I listen to a lot of video game podcasts now. I didn't listen to them when it came out. I knew that it was about a guy and a girl. And then the opening, there's a girl who kind of looks like the girl on the cover, and it's the guy's daughter, and she dies in the opening, and I did not see that coming. And that is kind of heart-wrenching, and it does a time jump years ahead after this whole outbreak has happened. And I mean, just the story. I mean, this is the story. You can instantly tell already. Like, there's been talk about this becoming a movie with Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones playing the girl, and Sam Raimi potentially being the director. I don't know about him,
but I think she would be.
But she would be great, and this would be a great film. I think they'd have to trim obviously some stuff, and people never are happy about that. But I mean, it's a direct storyline. Like, this girl is somehow immune to this whole basically zombie outbreak that has happened, and they're trying to get her somewhere, and that's what Walking Dead has always missed. A lot of, we've talked about Walking Dead, direction and an aim and a goal, and that's the point of Walking Dead, is not to have that. It's sort of just like, this is what it would be like to be part of the zombie apocalypse, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just survival. But that's why this would make a better movie than Walking Dead ever would, because it does have a goal. It does have a hook. And I can't wait to finish it. I think, again, I've heard the ending is great and all of that, so I think that we should do a discussion.
Sure.
About that once I beat it. Hopefully I'll beat it within the next couple of weeks. Again, now there's even more. I still have Halo.
Yeah.
We're going to have Battlefront coming out, but I'm going to focus on this game as much as I can now. Do you have any just initial, like, you love the game, right?
I do. I really like it. I almost would like to go back and kind of replay it, just so I can have, it's been a couple of years since I've played it, because I played it back when it came out. I mean, a couple of years. I think it was 2013. I think when it first got its release. So I played it when it came out. And I'll save some of my discussions, points and stuff about it for when we do a discussion. But yeah, I mean, I really like the game. You talked to me. Oh yeah, I played for a while, and I kind of got a sense of sort of where you're at and how much you have left, and I'm like, you've definitely got some good stuff ahead of you. And I'm really curious and excited to hear what you think once you're at the end of it.
There was a point a while back in when I was playing it, so a few hours behind where I am now, where I had to fight like basically what I would call like my first boss. There's like a giant guy in like a gymnasium. Okay. Is there a lot of that? Is there a lot of like boss stuff?
Not that I remember.
That seemed, it almost felt weird. That almost felt too video game.
Not that I remember. There was a
story-based thing.
There was, when I played it basically kind of in like 2 sessions. I played it when the day got released for like 4 hours, and then stuff came up and I didn't touch it for a couple months, and then I just marathoned it from all day. So a lot of parts of it kind of blur together a little bit for me, just because I played it in just one giant session. I don't recall a lot of things like that though.
Cool. Yeah, because it was still a neat interaction, and you get that in video games, but it felt more video gamey than anything else.
Sure.
Just because it was like, here's a boss. It's like, what? Why is there a boss? Cool. All right, so I will report back with Last of Us, and that was
stream it, pitch it,
play it. So we'll be back soon. Next week I'll just give you a game to start playing.
Okay, that's fine.
And when you get to, obviously you're playing Fallout, as we discovered earlier this week, so when you get to it, you get to it.
Alright, that sounds good.
Cool.
If you guys like these, what did you think of Beasts of the Nations? Have you seen it yet? Did this make you want to see it? Does this make you not want to see it? What do you think of the Burrows? Are you excited to see the Burrows this holiday season? Have you played The Last of Us? What do you think of The Last of Us? Again, you can find me on Twitter at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel is on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can also email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer.